Hey friends, okay, so this reading is all about what you need to surrender. You know you have some place that you want to be, you know where you want to go, but you're a little stuck. If you're feeling a little stuck, this is the reading for you. I'm going to be talking about what you need to surrender and what self-care practices you need, and not self-care like taking a bubble bath. Like, I'm going to give you the real deal. What kind of self-care, because self-care is not just what you put on your body, it's the simple little things that we often just don't think about. And so I'm going to share with you what you need to surrender and what self-care practices that you need to get into in order for you to move forward and to feel whole and aligned. Ready? Let's go. Pick a card. Air signs that chose number 1. You've got surrender your belief in scarcity, accept love, and travel. Surrender your belief in scarcity. There's so much more to life. There's so much more available than we can even see. There's so much to us as individuals than we could even begin to understand and begin to see. And what you're being reminded right now is to surrender your belief or the thought that you think that there isn't enough, that there isn't enough love in particular, that there isn't enough love coming back to you. The place in which love will start is with yourself. And I know it's a very popular thing to say to love yourself, but how about accepting love? How about this is your self-care practice, accept love. Maybe you need to accept the love of yourself. Maybe you need to accept the love of someone close to you. Maybe you need to accept the idea that love is available. And then this travel card. This travel card is saying not only do you need to remember that there's more than meets the eye, right? That if you traveled, you would see more. You can actually travel within. You could travel just around your neighborhood. You can travel in the past. You can travel in the future. But the idea is that time is so expansive. There's so much available that you need to surrender your ideas that there isn't enough. All right, you chose number 2. You've got surrender to what is, go with the flow, listen, and stretch. Okay. Surrendering to what is. It's really easy to get caught up in what you want to happen, what you feel like should be happening, or what you imagine. But you need to surrender to the fact that things are the way they are, that they just are the way they are. Because what ends up happening when we are expecting or wanting something that's not actually happening, that's not part of our reality, is that we expend a lot of energy on that misalignment, if you will. And it causes a lot of stress and a lot of heartache, unnecessary stress. And so what you're being asked to surrender is to what is. Because as soon as you can accept what is actually true, what is reality, it's going to be the sooner you can start to feel some peace. Because once you have accepted something, then you could start to move towards acting accordingly, being accordingly, doing accordingly, instead of doing for if this was this way, or wanting or wishing for something else. You're sort of expending this extra energy. And so Spirit is saying, no, surrender to what is. And then go with the flow. Just looking at her, she is so peaceful. Oh my God. Like, what do you think she can hear out on this lake or on this river? She even dropped her oar. She's not even trying to move the little canoe anymore. It's just going. She's going with the flow. And the look on her face is so clear that she is completely relaxed. That's what you really want. And when you surrender to what is, you can begin the process of just being completely relaxed, because you know that some things are just out of your control. And then you can actually listen carefully to your guidance, to your heart, to the real positive voices that are trying to reach out to you. That if you just relax, and then you can start to stretch what's possible for yourself. You can start to stretch within the space that you can control. So letting go of what you can't control is really surrendering to what is. Okay, Air Collective number 3. Surrender frustration. Follow your dreams. Candles. Okay. Surrendering your frustration, it is hard. It is hard. I totally get it. It is really hard to have a vision for yourself and to feel like it's not happening, to feel like it's not what's taking so long, right? It's very frustrating. But when you come up against a block, or when you come up against a moment where you're feeling stuck, trying to bust through that is actually not going to help you. It's actually going to make it a lot harder, only in the fact that you're going to spend so much of this energy towards busting through something, when in reality, if you just back up, follow your dream by remembering your dream. Remember the bigger picture. Don't get so caught up in the details right now. The details have a time for its attention, but right now you're being asked to surrender frustration about this detail. Surrender frustration about this detail, and remember the bigger picture. Okay? Take another look at it from a bird's eye view. All right? If you think about a candle, you don't need a blowtorch to melt a solid, fresh candle. You don't. You need a consistent, small flame, and it'll melt it in time. Your dreams are going to take time, just like it takes time to melt a candle, but you need to have consistent, passionate energy towards fulfilling that, just like how a small, consistent flame will melt a candle. So all you got to do right now, all right, surrender your frustration. Just, it is what it is, right? Right now you're stuck, and you're going to stay stuck if you keep trying to manipulate the situation the way you want it to go. Let it go and just follow the dream. Remember, you have a bigger overarching goal in mind. This is one small part of it. It is not the whole thing, but it can become the whole thing if you continue to expend so much energy on trying to bust through this frustration and trying to Rubik's Cube this thing. Don't. Just take a step back. Remember that this is a marathon. It's not a race.